I do not see evidence that Azriel flipped on R. Kelly before 2020. January of 2020 is the first time I see physical evidence, undeniable evidence that Azriel has flipped on R. Kelly. Prior to that, there's no evidence that she flipped. Tasha K tells us she didn't flip December 22nd, 2019.
Azriel doesn't know. Well, now she does, okay? Her dad kind of gave her the information that I gave her to let her see for herself, but she's still having a hard time believing it because
she tells us very clearly that Azriel has seen the illegal contraband because her father, Angelo, showed it to her after he got it from Tasha K. And as of December 22nd, 2019, she didn't believe it. She had not flipped. But we know that January 8th, 2020, she went live, showed the fight with Joy, and that was verification that she had flipped. We know with absolute certainty that between December 22nd, 2019 and January 8th, 2020, Azriel flipped. That's a very narrow window of opportunity. Between December 22nd, 2019 and January 8th, 2020. If it would have happened before December 22nd, Tasha K would have known and she would have broke that story. So even though I think all evidence points to Larry being responsible for flipping Azriel, and she did flip in the first week of 2020 while staying at his house. She checked out of the Venetian hotel where she had a suite for 3 nights. I believe he lured her to his house under the pretense that he would get her music to Drake, and she changed her plane ticket and stayed in his. I do believe between January 3rd and January 7th of 2020, Larry McGee, with the assistance of his co-conspirators, his wife, his mother, his daughter, used illegal contraband and all information he had to flip Azriel into a compliant federal witness. That was out of his jurisdiction. He was not family. He did not know her. But more importantly, it's illegal to coerce someone. It's illegal to manipulate. It's illegal to brainwash and waterboard. And it's worse because he was a complete stranger. While under his roof, he manipulated her, he brainwashed her. He had 24 hours a day using his mother, his daughter, his wife to mindfuck her, to convince her to do what he wanted her to do. So I do believe she was manipulated, and I do believe she would not have flipped had he not influenced and coerced her. But once she flipped, once she got through that, I also believe she doesn't regret what she did. She's not sorry. I've listened to her interviews. I've watched her body language since she's done this, and she's been consistent from the wiretapping of Richard Arline to the interviews that she did, to the testifying in court, to the Gayle King interview after that, to the 2 Fox Soul, twice, Hollywood Unlocked. Consistently, she has behaved. She has no remorse. She doesn't regret what she did. And even though Larry is responsible for flipping her, she doesn't regret it. She doesn't feel sorry that she did it. She's not sorry that she did it. She has no emotional response to what she has done. And for that, she is responsible. The first to squeal gets the deal. The first to squeal gets the deal. I do believe she was manipulated. I do believe she would not have flipped without the influence and the coercion of Larry McGee. So for that reason alone, I think she should be the first to come forward to get the greatest amount of leniency, the least amount of repercussions. She's the youngest. She's 22 or 23 years old. She has her whole life ahead of her. And this was her knucklehead father's. Angelo has gotten his daughter into more bullshit in her 22 years on this earth than anyone should have to deal with. His get-rich-quick schemes, his dangerous partnerships with criminals, and he's brought his daughter into that bullshit. Azriel was making good decisions without Angelo. Her decision to stay where she was the smartest decision. If I were Azriel, I would save myself. Use my own brain, think for myself, and do what is legally correct and what is spiritually correct. That's always your North Star. I wouldn't try to save Angelo. I wouldn't try to save Alice. I wouldn't try to save anybody. Save yourself. The smartest thing she could have done was stayed where she was, and if she wanted to leave, leave quietly. Stay below radar for a while, and then resurface and pursue her music career. That was the smart move, because she actually can sing. She does have a marketable look. But now, because of her father and Larry McGee, she's known as the federal informant with herpes. For the rest of her life, she will be known as the federal informant with herpes that shit in a cup and ate it, that did a wiretap bribery sting on the man that she was in a 4.5-year relationship with, who trusted her, and she flipped on him for fame and money, who prostituted in Dubai and stole $1,600, allegedly. That's a jacket she'll wear the rest of her life, unless she does something now. Because of her father and Larry McGee, she's now a federal informant. And because of social media, she wears the jacket of a federal informant who snitched on a man she was in a relationship for 4.5 years, who did a wiretap bribery sting. She has herpes, she shit in a cup and ate it, and went over to Dubai and was prostituting and stole $1,600, allegedly. And that'll walk with her and move. The only way you get that jacket off of you is to tell the truth. Tell why you went to Vegas in December 29th, 2019. And you stayed at the Venetian 3 nights. Tell why you stayed at Larry's house. And what did Larry, his mother, his wife, and his daughter say to you while you were at his house? Tell the truth. And in doing so, you get that jacket up off of you. Azriel knows she walked in the door with a lie. She knows she lied about her age. She knows she came to that hotel room not for a business meeting, because she didn't bring a lawyer or a manager or an adult with her. She knows that she wanted a personal relationship with Robert. She knows that she is the reason that he has legal charges, because she was underage crossing state lines. And she's the one that got him in that trouble. And to act as if she didn't create this is karma. Your life will not change until you do the right thing. And doing the right thing is you tell the truth. And you don't try to deliberately hurt somebody knowing you walked in the door with lies and bullshit. What good has Robert Kelly done for you? Over the 4.5 years, you didn't stay with the man because there was no good. Write out all the good this man has done for you. The reason Gayle King even wants to talk to you is because of R. Kelly. The reason you're on Fox Soul is because of R. Kelly. The reason anybody even subscribes to your channels is because of R. Kelly. R. Kelly made you whatever it is that you think you are, because you didn't have that before him, and because you can't do an interview without bringing him up. You can't do anything without saying, I'm attached to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is the famous person. You're infamous as a result of being with him. But tell the truth.
When I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. Parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff. Not something that I can just turn on and off. It's devastating. I feel like I'm a very intelligent, smart, bright 21-year-old. I am definitely young, but I'm very mature in spirit. And I just feel like, anyone who thinks that I'm brainwashed and not, smart enough to make my own decisions, I just feel like that determines how, their mentality. That's not something I can control, but I know that I'm very smart and I know that I'm intelligent. I would definitely, have to continue living my life and doing what makes me happy. I know Rob, our last conversation that I had with him in Chicago, he inspired me and told me, Bear, just do what you want to do, what makes you happy. He told me to continue to pursue my dreams, pursue whatever I want to pursue. And that's really all that I would be able to do. It feels like a high. It feels like, you're in love, you're happy to be in love, and you feel like no matter what you go through with this person, it's worth going through because there's no other person you would want to go through this with. And that's with, you being in love with whoever it is. Not just me and Rob personally, but that could be any other person's relationship. You just feel like no matter what, the good or the bad, you want to go through it with that